I have been marked by my younger stepbrother. After being caught, I was compelled to leave his home. To my astonishment, I discovered that I was carrying a child. For years later, he cornered me at my doorstep. Gazing at the child by my side, he inquired, "Brother, is this my son or my nephew?" 1. As the night deepened, a cold wind swept through the air. I tightened my coat around me, my glands burning with an unsettling heat. Upon hastening into the corridor, I answered the phone, where a plaintive, childish complaint greeted me. "Daddy, if you don't come back soon, I'm gonna fall asleep." I murmured a few comforting words while casting a wary glance around. Behind me, the sound of footsteps echoed, steady and unhurried. At first, I assumed it was merely someone heading in the same direction, so I paid it no mind. However, as I walked intermittently, I noticed the footsteps mirrored my own, accompanied by an undeniable scent of pheromones. My body stiffened, and I slowed my breathing, daring not to relax for even a moment. Seizing the opportunity when the footsteps paused, I quickly ascended the stairs, only to find the figure closely trailing me. Suddenly, I was yanked backward with force, trapped in an embrace. One arm encircled my waist while the other grasped my chin. The acrid scent of pheromones enveloped me, and a familiar voice sent shivers down my spine. "Tao Yen, I found you, too." Instinctively, I struggled, but he pressed me against the wall, his breath quickening, his body radiating an intense heat that rendered me weak. The potent pheromones saturated the air around us, wrapping around me like an intricate web. As an omega marked by him, I instantly lost my ability to resist, pinned against the wall by his fervent kisses. The fruit I was holding tumbled to the ground with a crash. He pried open my lips, his tongue invading with a fierce dominance. I furrowed my brow and bit him in retaliation. The metallic taste of blood mingled with pheromones, flooding my mouth. He held me tightly, creating an illusion that I might be consumed whole. He turned me around, positioning me with my back to him, forcing my head down to expose my swollen glands. The person behind me lost control, his grip tightening. "It hurts. Shang Xinglin. Let go." "What about the mark?" Shang Xinglin asked, his voice taut and cold. "Have you washed it off?" "We've broken up. Why would I keep the mark unwashed?" "Keeping the mark would only hinder my use of suppressants during my heats, wouldn't it?" As I came into contact with the potent alpha pheromones, the stirrings of my heat began to rise. I bit my tongue to maintain my clarity. Shang Xinglin, panting heavily, leaned in for another kiss. I whimpered, losing myself in the moment, nearly breathless, oblivious even to the door opening beside us, until Tao Su's voice rang out. "Daddy, what are you doing outside? Why aren't you coming in?" Tao Su exclaimed, covering his eyes with his fingers. I didn't see anything," he declared, swiftly shutting the door. I snapped back to reality and pushed away the increasingly audacious Shang Xinglin. His eyes were tinged with red, deep emotions swirling within his gaze. "Tao Yen, you've pushed me away again," he said, his voice low and filled with accusation, bearing an unmistakable sense of grievance. As I opened my mouth to retort, he silenced me. "Fine, let's go inside first." I no longer needed suppressants. My heat was about to hit. I gathered the fallen items and entered the house. Tao Su stood by the shoe cabinet, still covering his eyes, yet his fingers were wide open, his curious eyes peeking through. He lowered his hands, looking up to meet Shang Xinglin's gaze. Shang Xinglin leaned against the doorframe, scrutinizing him closely. "Brother, is this my son or my nephew?" The two of them, one large and one small, awaited my answer. I regarded their faces, maintaining a composed demeanor for a few seconds before releasing a quiet sigh of relief. Thankfully, Tao Su resembled me. If he took after someone else, this predicament would not have arisen. "Your nephew." With that, I picked up the fruit and made my way to the kitchen. While they exchanged wide-eyed glances, I quickly consumed a suppressor. The heat within me was quelled. Turning around, I collided into Shang Xinglin's embrace. "So eager to throw yourself into my arms, brother?" he teased, a playful smile gracing his lips as he placed a kiss on my cheek. "Shang Xinglin, don't be ridiculous." I turned to find Tao Su's inquisitive gaze. He appeared innocent and curious. After a moment of silence, I cleared my throat and introduced, "Tao Su, this is Uncle Shang."
Tao Su obediently greeted, "Hello, uncle."
He then queried, "Why can Uncle kiss Daddy too?" Shang Xinglin's breath hitched, his sharp gaze threatening to pierce through Tao Su. Startled, Tao Su drew back his neck and bolted away. Shang Xinglin closed the distance, cornering me against the countertop. "Why did he say too? Who else kisses you?" I met Shang Xinglin's simmering gaze, swallowing hard. Who else could it be? Certainly it was the inquisitive Tao Su. The reason I hadn't kissed him upon returning today was due to the shock from the scene at the door. But I chose not to disclose it, relishing in Shang Xinglin's growing impatience. 3. Without receiving an answer, Shang Xinglin grew increasingly agitated, his grip around my waist tightening. Seeing him like this, I couldn't help but reminisce about the past. When my mother and I first entered the Shang household, Shang Xinglin was merely a boy of 10. He resisted our arrival vehemently, and with his unmarked status, the development of his glands often left him in a state of restlessness. Unable to alleviate his frustrations, he would erupt in anger daily, only to be reprimanded by his father afterward. He appeared utterly aggrieved, helpless like a caged beast, thrashing in its confinement. Later, on a stormy night, I discovered the turning point in our relationship. Shang Xinglin feared thunder and the dark. The half-grown boy, prideful yet vulnerable, cried into his blanket. I heard him while passing by, initially thinking I was imagining it. Upon entering his room, I found him weeping. At first, he coldly commanded me to leave, though his voice trembled uncontrollably. After a brief hesitation, I embraced him, releasing calming pheromones to soothe him. He soon fell into a deep slumber in my arms. After that night, his demeanor towards me began to soften, always trailing behind me, calling me brother. The Shang family was astonished by this transformation, but they welcomed the sight of brotherly affection. Until he matured and transformed into an alpha, everything changed. During his sensitive period, he ensnared me in his embrace, kissing me fervently, his tongue teasing my glands, attempting to break the skin. Shang Xinglin, this is wrong. I panicked and pushed him away, feeling lost as I sat there. No matter how close we had been before, it had only ever been in the form of hugs, not in this entangled state of bodies and pheromones. Shang Xinglin, unyielding and assertive, retorted, "What's wrong with it? Your body clearly enjoys me." He bit into my gland, infusing me with his pheromones. I let out a pained groan, my body trembling uncontrollably. I felt as if I were becoming a sieve, alpha pheromones infiltrating me from all sides, gradually melting away my strength and eroding my spirit, until I lost consciousness. Afterward, I resolutely rejected him, no longer indulging Shang Xinglin as I had before. With reddened eyes, he smiled instead of fuming, slowly retrieving his phone. I looked at him in confusion. The next moment, an embarrassingly intimate sound emanated from the device, flooding my cheeks with warmth. I could no longer maintain my composure and lunged to snatch the phone away. Shang Xinglin deftly evaded me, chuckling. "There's no helping it, brother. I knew you would surely refuse me. Therefore, I must preserve a little something for myself." "Xinglin, please delete it," I pleaded. "If that video were to leak, I would be utterly ruined." No matter how I explained, others would only see it as the Shang family's stepson seducing the young master of the Shang family. "All right," Shang Xinglin agreed readily. "But, brother, you must promise me. You can only belong to me." Thus, we spent a year in relative peace. I was uncertain how to define my relationship with Shang Xinglin, yet I knew my feelings for him were anything but innocent. I surrendered to my desires, allowing myself to plunge into this emotional abyss. Shang Xinglin, too, was captivated, clinging to me relentlessly every day, always attempting to mark me completely. He kissed my gland, his canines grazing my delicate skin, as if to pierce it. This way, brother can belong to me forever. No, I repeatedly rejected him. Shang Xinglin was unfazed, merely pulling me closer for more temporary markings until Uncle Shang arranged a blind date for me. In an effort to extricate myself from my entanglement with Shang Xinglin, I impulsively agreed to the arrangement, secretly meeting that alpha. However, Shang Xinglin discovered my deception. He furiously yanked me out of the restaurant, disregarding everything as he forced me into estrus with his pheromones. We spent 3 days in a hotel, oblivious to the passage of time. When sanity returned, Shang Xinglin's mark was already imprinted on me. My ears echoed with my mother's cries and Uncle Shang's furious rebukes. "You reckless fool. He is your brother. You won't even spare your brother. Shang Xinglin, you beast." Shang Xinglin, sporting a red handprint, laughed boldly. "I've already said he is my brother, which means he can only be marked by me." The scent of pheromones grew increasingly potent, snapping me back to reality. Shang Xinglin held me firmly, his grip as if he intended to meld me into his very being. "Taoyan, what are you daydreaming about?" I raised my eyes to meet his. "Nothing." After being marked, I had not seen Shang Xinglin again. He had been sent abroad by Grandpa Sheng. I had also distanced myself from the Sheng family. This was the first time in 4 years that I laid eyes on him. He appeared taller and more mature, yet some things seemed unchanged. When he looked at me, there was a flicker of starlight in his gaze. The air inexplicably grew dense as Shang Xinglin drew closer. After a moment of mutual gazing, Tao Su suddenly appeared, interrupting us. He squeezed between us, standing on Shang Xinglin's foot, looking up at me. "Daddy, we haven't kissed yet." I bent down to oblige. With a satisfying sound, Tao Su jumped down. "All right, you two carry on." I felt no obligation to answer Shang Xinglin's questions anymore. Besides him, only Tao Su would kiss me. Yet, Shang Xinglin seemed oblivious to this implication, instead scrutinizing me. "He resembles you quite a bit," he remarked. I affirmed with a simple hom. My son certainly bore my likeness. Shang Xinglin casually toyed with my fingers, asking, "If you say he's my nephew, then who is his other father?" His demeanor was relaxed, but his gaze was piercing, as if he had already seen through everything. I lowered my head, my heartbeat faltering, momentarily at a loss for words. This was a secret I could not voice. If revealed, perhaps Tao Su would no longer be able to stay by my side. I swallowed hard. "You don't need to know." In an instant, the tempest of pheromones surged forth. The alpha, driven by madness, pinned me against the countertop. "Why is it unnecessary? Tao Yan, don't forget you are my brother. Just based on this relationship, I have the right to know, and I must know." He grasped my chin, forcing me to look up. The moment our lips met, an overwhelming sense of aggression descended upon us. A broken sound escaped my lips, and I couldn't help but furrow my brow. After pushing him away, I gasped for breath, my head spinning. "You wouldn't dare say he's not my son, would you?" I hurriedly denied it, my voice hoarse and unsteady. "No, he's a beta I met while in school." Shang Xinglin appeared incredulous. "All right, then bring him home for me to see." I remained unmoved. He stubbornly thrust his phone at me. "You're married and have a child. As your younger brother, I should at least meet him." Before I could respond, Tao Su came running in his slippers. "Daddy, why hasn't Papa Fong arrived yet?" Upon hearing this, Shang Xinglin froze, his expression one of shock. Even the grip he had on me loosened. Shang Xinglin turned to Tao Su. "What did you say?" Tao Su jumped back, seeking refuge by my side. "Papa Fong promised to play games with me tonight. He still hasn't come, and it's almost bedtime." With that, Tao Su pouted, on the verge of tears. I glanced at my phone and saw that Fong Su had messaged half an hour ago, stating he couldn't make it. I relayed this to Tao Su, who nodded with a forlorn expression, retreating to his room to gather his toys. Shang Xinglin plopped down beside Tao Su, his demeanor awkward as he asked, "What are you playing?" Tao Su stood there, bewildered. Shang Xinglin ruffled his chubby cheeks and said, "I'll play with you." Instantly, Tao Su's face lit up, and he fetched the Ludo game. I had expected Shang Xinglin to lack patience with Tao Su, fearing he might provoke the boy to tears. To my surprise, after half an hour, the two of them interacted harmoniously. Tao Su lay on the floor, softly pleading with him not to eat his pieces. Shang Xinglin chuckled, repeatedly assuring him he wouldn't. I breathed a sigh of relief and turned to enter the bedroom. My body, tense since encountering Shang Xinglin, finally began to relax. Yet, the suppressed heat quickly surged back. The sweet scent of pear gradually filled the room. I lay on the bed, unable to shake the image of Shang Xinglin from my mind, yearning for the comfort of his alpha pheromones. Desperately, I reached beneath the covers, yet relief eluded me, intensifying instead. In a daze, I found myself enveloped in a warm embrace. Instinctively, I called out, "Xinglin." Shang Xinglin brushed against my swollen gland, a smile gracing his face. "Brother, are you in estrus? Were you just thinking of me?" Awakening from my stupor, I abruptly withdrew from his hold. "Get out." I was mortified and furious, my face burning as I turned away from him. Shang Xinglin embraced me from behind, his lips and tongue exploring my body, leaving delicate kisses. "Brother, where's your beta partner? You were already aroused. Aren't you going to call him back? How about I, as your younger brother, lend you a hand? What do you think?" His incessant words left my mind in a state of blankness. I was acutely aware of the alpha pheromones emanating from him, which I craved more than anything else. The familiar scent gradually eroded my rationality. Shang Xinglin turned his head to glance at me, his hand caught in my grip. "Brother, what do you want me to do?" I remained silent, merely tightening my hold on his hand, hesitating to take the next step. He stole a glance before drawing me even closer. The scent of pear suddenly became more fragrant. Shang Xinglin rested his chin on my shoulder. Without warning, his canine teeth pierced my flesh. Pain shot through me, causing my body to tense, and the sheets were wrinkled beneath my grasp. The pheromones flowed ceaselessly, my glands becoming engorged. That's enough. Shang Xinglin, stop, I gasped, struggling to maintain my composure as my waist weakened. Shang Xinglin held my waist, leaning against my back to catch his breath. A warm liquid trickled down, landing on me and making me shiver. What's wrong with you? He had caused the effects of my suppressants to wane since his arrival. I had not shed a tear. Why was he crying? Shang Xinglin's voice was choked with emotion. Don't worry about it. I lowered my head, ignoring him, lost in the familiar pheromones enveloping me. Later, I lay on the sofa, dazed, tightening the fabric of my pajamas. Shang Xinglin tossed the used sheets into the washing machine. Watching his silhouette, memories from 4 years ago flooded my mind. Startled, I sat up straight, glancing around. I could not find what I was looking for. The more I thought, the more fear gripped me, my heart racing. If he were to act the same way again, what would he want from me? Lost in thought, Shang Xinglin returned. I exhaled deeply, feigning calmness. Speak up. Where have you hidden the camera this time? What threats are you preparing? The satisfied smile on Shang Xinglin's face instantly froze. Tao Yan, is this how you truly perceive me? I forced a smile. What else could it be? The memory of the video he had shown 4 years ago still haunted me. Before that, I had never thought of him in such a manner. Our eyes met, and I caught a glimpse of hurt in Shang Xinglin's gaze. He knelt by the bed, leaning into my embrace, softly assuring me, "Brother, I won't do that again. I've already deleted the previous videos. I'm sorry." The following day, I awoke to find the alpha pheromones overshadowed by a warm, milky scent. I turned over, burying my face in Tao Su's soft little belly. Tao Su giggled. That tickles. Yet he obediently let me snuggle against him. After indulging in a deep inhalation of his scent, I inquired about Shang Xinglin's whereabouts. Tao Su pointed outside. He's hanging the sheets. Following his chubby little finger, I indeed spotted a tall figure on the balcony. Shang Xinglin's movements appeared clumsy as he hung the wrinkled sheets. Noticing our gazes, he turned to smile, then diligently attempted to smooth out the creases. Once finished, Shang Xinglin entered, unceremoniously pushing past Tao Su to lie beside me. Are you still feeling unwell, brother? At this, Tao Su hurriedly scooted closer, his little bottom wriggling. Daddy, what's wrong with you? Both faces bore expressions of concern. Suddenly, I noticed how much they resembled each other. I bit my lip, lowering my gaze to conceal my emotions. I'm fine. Tao Su let out a heavy "oh" and nestled into my arms. Shang Xinglin, unwilling to be left out, curled up and squeezed in as well. Move aside. I want to lean against Dad. No, I want to lean against my brother. The two nearly squashed me into a pulp. Shang Xinglin, Tao Su, both of you, settle down. The competitive duo simultaneously halted, exchanging a glare. Tao Su, small in stature, could not outmuscle the sturdy alpha. He tugged at his hair, confusion etched on his little face. Daddy, why can he sleep in your bed and be held by you? Because I suddenly found myself at a loss for words, unsure how to respond to Tao Su. To say that Shang Xinglin was my brother felt odd, as no family with siblings that age still cuddled together. But if I labeled him as my alpha, Shang Xinglin would undoubtedly take it further. Seeing my silence, Tao Su grew anxious. Why, Daddy? Shang Xinglin chuckled triumphantly. Of course, it's because I am your daddy's alpha. Before Shang Xinglin could finish, the sound of Fong Su's voice echoed from the entrance. Where's Xiaobao? Tao Su's eyes brightened. He disregarded Shang Xinglin, dashing forward. Daddy Fong, I've missed you so much. Tao Su leaped into Fong Su's arms, receiving a kiss in return. Shang Xinglin's smile faltered, his expression darkening as he listened to their exchange. He turned to me, teeth clenched. Is he the beta you mentioned? Tao Yan, are you truly married? Without a hint of hesitation, I nodded. Yes, that's right. Would you like to see pictures? I casually asked, retrieving my phone from the bedside table. Before Shang Xinglin could respond, I directly flipped to the artistic photos taken last year during Tao Su's birthday, where Fong Su had joined us, capturing moments of intimacy. Shang Xinglin's disbelief was palpable as he scrutinized the images, muttering, impossible, brother, you must be lying to me. Why would I lie to you? I reclaimed my phone, wary of what he might stumble upon. Shang Xinglin's expression darkened, the pheromones in the air becoming increasingly agitated. The complete marking had been erased 4 years prior, yet the Omega instinct embedded in my very being left me vulnerable, submitting to Shang Xinglin's advances. I struggled momentarily, but he pressed his knee against my legs. I despised my own weakness, yet I could not resist his proximity. Our fingers intertwined. Shang Xinglin leaned down to kiss me. The distant voices of Tao Su and Fang Su became a blurred background. Xiao Bao, where's your daddy? Why can't we see him? Tao Su whispered conspiratorially to Fang Su. Daddy, I saw him kissing someone at the door yesterday, and he brought him home. He then softly complained about someone stealing his daddy away. I snapped back to reality, kicking Shang Xinglin off me with a sudden force. My chest heaved as I sat up, dizzy from the near loss of control. One lapse was enough. I couldn't afford another. I leaned against the headboard, taking deep breaths to steady my heart rate. Tao Su, hearing the commotion, poked his head into the room. He gazed at Shang Xinglin sprawled on the floor and then at me, clapping his hands in admiration. Daddy, you're amazing. Fang Su followed closely behind, lifting Tao Su into his arms, his voice low and questioning. What are you two doing? Shang Xinglin paused mid-motion, his eyes darting between me and Fang Su. I was just reminiscing with my brother. You are? So you're the younger brother? Fang Su smiled. I'm Yan Yan's. He paused, locking eyes with me before declaring partner. The smile on Shang Xinglin's face faded, his expression growing cold as he spoke with an unfriendly tone. Then this sister-in-law, my brother and I haven't seen each other in 4 years and have much to discuss. Would you mind giving us a little space? Fang Su looked at me, bewildered. I silently signaled for Shang Xinglin to take Tao Su away. The door clicked shut behind them. Shang Xinglin, in a fit of exasperation, pinned me down onto the bed, nearly exerting his entire weight upon me, causing me to emit a muffled groan. Get up, he demanded. I refuse, I retorted. He slightly eased his grip. What can a beta possibly do to accompany you through your heat? You have no idea how reckless you were last night. In a panic, I hastily covered his mouth to stifle his words. Shang Xinglin, what does it matter if he is a beta? I have managed all these years. Upon uttering those words, the fury in Shang Xinglin's eyes evaporated, replaced by a profound sense of grievance. So, does this mean you no longer want me? For years ago, you left without a word, and now that I've finally found you, you wish to cast me aside. He held me so tightly that I could scarcely breathe. Attempting to defend myself, I did not. Tears brimmed in his eyes as he interrupted me with a choked voice. You clung to me last night, and now that you no longer require me, you claim to have a partner. Tao Yan, I will report you to the Omega Association. His tears flowed freely, and his downturned lips mirrored Tao Su's tear-streaked face, stirring my heart to soften. Yet, the realities of my life reminded me of our tumultuous past. We had not only been met with disapproval but also fierce opposition. For years prior, upon learning of our bond, Shang Xinglin's grandfather had been so enraged that he was hospitalized. He had hurled accusations at me, calling me shameless for seducing his grandson, and had threatened to expel my mother and me from the Shang family. My mother, having endured a tumultuous life with an alcoholic and gambling-addicted father, had finally carved out a stable existence post-divorce. I could not allow my actions to jeopardize her peace. After a period of reflection, I had assured the elder Shang that I would not pursue a relationship with Shang Xinglin again and would never set foot in the Shang household. After careful consideration, the elder Shang had consented, arranging for me to have my bond cleansed and ensuring my departure was shrouded in secrecy, preventing any chance of another encounter until today, 4 years later. My thoughts were in disarray, rendering me incapable of responding to Shang Xinglin's desires. With a silent sigh, I raised my hand to wipe away his tears. Xinglin, you should go back for now. Let us both have some time to cool off. His expression darkened, his voice barely above a whisper, and after we cool off, I want to be able to find you again. Will I? I softly reassured him, that won't happen. If you come, I will certainly be here. Shang Xinglin gazed at me intently for a prolonged moment before silently exiting. Tao Su rushed over to lock the door behind him. Daddy, he is being mean. Don't let him come back. Little Bao is right, Fang Su said, scooping up the fuming child. He pulled me aside, questioning what had transpired the previous day. His brows furrowed as he suggested various ideas. How about we get a marriage certificate tomorrow? Perhaps that will make him relinquish his pursuit of you. The image of 4 years ago, when he forcibly marked me out of jealousy during my blind date, flashed through my mind, and I shook my head at Fang Su. He wouldn't he do that. If I were to marry Fong Su, who knew what impulsive actions Shang Xinglin might take? Moreover, I feared for Fong Su's safety. It's fine, Fong. He wouldn't he harm me. It was not as if I were at the point of needing to evade Shang Xinglin. I had initially chosen to leave out of respect for the elder Shang, fearing the loss of my mother's newfound stability. Over the years, my mother and I had maintained contact. She was thriving now and would occasionally visit me and Tao Su. There was little that could instill fear in me. The following day, I detected a familiar pheromone wafting through the corridor. It was not overpowering, yet it carried a significant presence. Peering around the corner, I spotted a familiar silhouette. Upon noticing me, the figure attempted to conceal himself in the shadows, believing himself to be discreet. I unlocked the door, casually inquiring, "What are you doing standing there? Luring mosquitoes?" "Brother." Shang Xinglin ambled over, enveloping me in his embrace. "I'm sorry. It was my fault 4 years ago, and last night was my fault too. Can I come find you again?" I forcefully pried his arms from around my waist. "Haven't you already done that?" Not only had he come, but he had also immediately grabbed hold of me. After pushing him away, I entered the house to change my shoes. Shang Xinglin remained unperturbed, staring at my feet, and pitifully asked, "Can I come in?" Without waiting for my permission, he stepped inside. As I followed him in and was about to close the door, Shang Xinglin turned back. "I forgot something." He swiftly snatched the keys hanging on the wall and dashed around the corner. Shortly after, he returned with several large bags. I reminded him the keys. Reluctantly, Shang Xinglin hung the keys back. He then clung to me again. "Brother, I've missed you so much." He affectionately nuzzled my cheek, tentatively brushing against the corner of my lips. "Is that all right, brother?" Before I could respond, he eagerly leaned in to kiss me. I was caught off guard, allowing him to succeed. I placed my hand against his chest, but before I could push him away, he willingly released me.
I'm sorry.
"I can't help myself when I see you." I shot him a glare and turned away in irritation. "Then don't come in." Upon seeing him, Tao Su pouted. "What are you doing?" Shang Xinglin handed him a toy, perfectly aligned with Tao Su's preferences. Tao Su swallowed his words of reproach, captivated by the new toy. Though still fuming at Shang Xinglin, he couldn't bear to refuse it. Finally, he awkwardly muttered, "Thank you, uncle." Shang Xinglin carried the remaining bags into the kitchen, volunteering, "Brother, I'll cook tonight." The next moment, his voice echoed in astonishment from inside. "What are you doing here?" Fong Su had set her cup down heavily. "That's a question I should be asking you, Mr. Shang. I am Tao Yen's partner. Where else would I be?" Shang Xinglin fell silent, his expression a mixture of grievance and indignation as he silently complained to me. Seeing him in such a predicament made me unable to suppress a laugh, and I pulled Fong Su out of the kitchen. Fong Su didn't forget to leave him with a parting shot. "Do a good job, little brother. If it's not delicious, Yen might not keep you around." As Shang Xinglin served me oil-braised prawns for the 3rd time, Fong Su could no longer resist and snatched some from my bowl. Shang Xinglin glared at him. "What are you doing? If you want to eat, serve yourself." Fong Su chuckled, putting on disposable gloves to begin peeling the shrimp. "You don't know? Yen doesn't like unpeeled shrimp. He used to eat them. I can't stand seeing him struggle with peeling them when he likes them. I always do it for him." Shang Xinglin looked at me, eagerly awaiting my confirmation. Fong Su was making exaggerated eye gestures at me. I nodded. "I don't like them." "Little Bao doesn't like them either." Tao Su looked at Shang Xinglin with eager anticipation. Shang Xinglin immediately took over Fong Su's task, dutifully peeling shrimp. Halfway through the meal, Fong Su was suddenly called away by a phone call. The joy on Shang Xinglin's face was unmistakable. After seeing Fong Su to the door, he imitated Tao Su and locked it behind him. "My cooking is quite good, I senti it. Tasty, right?" Tao Su, with grease glistening on his face, replied, "Not as good as what Dad Fong makes." "Is it really not tasty, brother?" Shang Xinglin looked at me with a pleading expression, his eyes glimmering with moisture. He had often gazed at me like that before, hoping for my praise. "It's good." As the night deepened, Shang Xinglin showed no signs of leaving. After playing with Tao Su and his toys, he reminded me, "Uncle, I'm gonna sleep with Dad now." Shang Xinglin paused, responding in a low voice, "Got it." He then turned to me, reaching around my waist to embrace me. "Brother, may I stay over? The power is out at my home. You know I've been afraid of the dark since I was little." To prove his sincerity, he even showed me the footage from his home's surveillance, revealing a pitch-black scene. As I brushed my teeth, I replied, There's south no place for you to sleep. I can sleep on the floor. I remained silent, continuing to brush my teeth. Shang Xinglin lowered his head, inhaling the pheromones, and softly declared, "Brother, I've discovered something." You're lying to me. Shang Xinglin fixed his gaze on the reflection of us in the mirror. There are no signs of a third person living in this house. Everything is just in pairs, one large and one small. I was taken aback by his keen observation, nearly swallowing the toothpaste. After rinsing my mouth, I stammered. So, what does that mean? I haven't lied to you about the fact that it's always been Fong Su accompanying me over the years. Shang Xinglin paused, his expression dimming.
I'm sorry.
Brother, I will always be here for you and Xiao Bao. His voice took on a nasal tone as he cautiously asked, "Brother, may I apply to become the third person living here?" After I fetched blankets for Shang Xinglin, I returned to find Tao Su's eyes wide open. "Dad." He climbed into my arms using both hands and feet, whispering, "Uncle is my other dad, right?" I was taken aback, embracing Tao Su, surprised he guessed so quickly. However, I had no intention of continuing to hide the truth. "Yes, he is." Tao Su's eyes widened even more. "Why did you separate? Did he do something wrong?" I neither confirmed nor denied, weighing my words carefully. It's not so much that he did something wrong. It's more of a matter of necessity. If Shang Xinglin and I hadn't been stepbrothers at that time, perhaps we wouldn't have separated. But how could we have met if we weren't stepbrothers? Without that bond, we wouldn't have belonged to the same world. Tao Su tilted his head, confusion written all over his big eyes. Ruffling his hair, he apologetically said, "Dad, I don't seem to understand. It's all right. You just need to enjoy the love he has for you. Does Uncle know?" "Not yet." Tao Su shushed me. "Let us not tell him for now." The next day, Shang Xinglin, unfazed, claimed that there was no water at his home and requested to stay with me again. It suddenly dawned on me. Last night he said there was a power outage, yet how could he show me the surveillance footage? I was about to confront him, but seeing Tao Su playing happily with him in a game of Ludo, I hesitated. Let him stay. As long as he is content to sleep on the sofa, it's fine. Gradually, both Tao Su and I became accustomed to Shang Xinglin's presence, even coming to regard him as part of our lives. If he didn't come for a day, Tao Su would murmur in my ear, "Dad, why hasn't Uncle come yet? Is it because we didn't tell him, and he is angry?" I glanced at the clock. The hands pointed to 8 o'clock. By this time, Shang Xinglin would usually have arrived. If he couldn't make it, he would inform me in advance, unlike now, where there was no news at all. I reassured Tao Su while dialing his number. After multiple attempts, it was only on the 5th call that he picked up. Shang Xinglin's voice sounded muffled and a bit hoarse. "Brother, I caught a cold and 1 TB coming today. I'm afraid of passing it to you." He followed this with a few coughs. "Have you seen a doctor? Are you taking any medicine? How serious is it?" Shang Xinglin's voice trembled, weakly responding, "Not serious. My mother's social media showed she was traveling with Uncle Shang." Thinking of Shang Xinglin suffering alone at home with a cold, a bittersweet feeling washed over me. "Where are you?" he asked eagerly. "Brother, are you coming to see me?" I replied with a simple deciding I couldn't just let him suffer alone. Shang Xinglin seemed to revive, shedding his earlier lethargy. "Brother, then hurry over. The door code is your birthday." After leaving Tao Su with Fong Su, I hurried to Shang Xinglin's place. The door unlocked with a beep. A rush of pheromones hit me like a tidal wave, making my glands throb, which Alpha, despite having a cold, still exuded such potent pheromones. Tentatively, I called out to him, and his voice came from the bedroom. "Brother, I'm here." The blanket was piled high, and Shang Xinglin's cheeks were flushed as he poked his head out. Lifting the blanket slightly revealed a few articles of clothing hidden inside. I focused closely. Weren't those the clothes I had been searching for at home a few days ago? "Are you sure you have a cold?" I regarded Shang Xinglin skeptically. The pheromones in the air were intense and thick, nearly overwhelming me. "Xinglin, is it that time for you?" Shang Xinglin nodded slowly, whispering, "Brother, I'm sorry. I'm in my sensitive period. I took suppressants, but it still feels terrible." He buried his face in my clothes, lacking energy, hiding under the blanket. I stood at the edge of the bed, torn between two inner voices, one urging me to help Shang Xinglin, the other warning me to run. Shang Xinglin silently gazed at me, and after much hesitation, I relented. "Well, I'll keep you company." Shang Xinglin's eyes widened in disbelief as he sat up, clutching the blanket. "Brother, His cheeks reddened as he stammered, "No, it's not necessary." Reciprocity, I feigned calmness, softly saying, "You helped me last time, didn't you? But brother, I don't want this kind of reciprocity." Shang Xinglin's gaze was heavy as he looked at me. "You know what I want." "Xinglin, I don't know," I muttered, lowering my eyes, nervously clutching a corner of the blanket. Shang Xinglin grasped my wrist, pulling me closer. Our breaths intertwined, yet he didn't advance any further. "Brother, do you treat other alphas this way?" Without a moment's hesitation, I shook my head. "Of course not. How could I do such a thing with other alphas?" Even though it began with Shang Xinglin's insistence, it was because of him that I allowed myself to be drawn in. Shang Xinglin smiled. "So, you still like me, don't you?" Without needing to think, the answer was affirmative. Otherwise, why would I have allowed myself to sink so deeply, even choosing to have Tao Su? I leaned in, sealing his lips with mine, denying him any chance to speak. Why ponder so much? Just act. By the time Shang Xinglin's sensitive period ended, it was already the following afternoon when I awoke in his embrace. He was gazing at me intently, his eyes filled with warmth and satisfaction. Upon noticing I was awake, he cautiously asked, "Brother, you said you wouldn't be with anyone else, so Tao Su is my son, right?" I nodded, unable to suppress a chuckle. "Silly. Even Xiao Bao figured it out long ago. You were the only one who didn't know." "I can hardly bear to think about it," he mumbled, his voice tinged with reluctance. Upon discovering that Tao Su was indeed his son, Shang Xinglin eagerly urged me to step outside and fetch our child. "Not long ago, you were desperate to send him to Fang Su, weren't you? Things are different now." Upon arriving at Fang Su's residence, it was she who opened the door, while Tao Su was nowhere to be seen. Fang Su paused for a brief moment upon seeing Shang Xinglin and me, exclaiming, "Have you two reconciled?" Shang Xinglin fervently nodded beside me, eager for the world to know. "Where is Xiao Bao?" "He is asleep," Fang Su called back. "When Ingchen, bring Xiao Bao out." After a short while, a tall alpha emerged, cradling Tao Su. He handed Tao Su to Shang Xinglin with a grunt. "Hurry and take him away, he is exhausting me." Shang Xinglin embraced Tao Su tightly, his tone brimming with pride. "You think I would deny you the pleasure of this exhaustion?" When Ingchen, his face darkened, slammed the door shut, the sound startled Tao Su awake, his eyes fluttering open in confusion. "Daddy?" He turned his face in search of me. Shang Xinglin answered succinctly, "Yes, Daddy is holding Xiao Bao." Tao Su paused for a moment, then asked, "Daddy, does he know?" "Yes, Daddy has told him." As I walked beside Shang Xinglin, I couldn't resist pinching Tao Su's rosy cheeks, still warm from slumber. "Daddy!" Tao Su glanced at Shang Xinglin, then back at me. "Daddy." His face lit up with joy as he nestled against Shang Xinglin's shoulder, like a wind-up toy, tirelessly calling out to us. In the glow of the setting sun, the shadows of our family of three stretched long, walking closely together in intimate harmony. The end. Thank you for listening. We shall meet again in the next tale.